Hey guys, so thank you so much for all your questions. We have a whole hat full of them.
We do.
And we're gonna try to answer as much as we can.
Hopefully it's not too long.
Yeah, so shall we get started?
Let's get started. You guys thought we were kidding.
Alright, first off, keel.
We're actually not going to be talking about the keel in this video.
No, because there's a lot to touch base on. So instead, we're going to write an article on it and post it on our website.
Yeah, we promise it will be detailed, it will be long, it will be probably boring to most of you. But for the few of you who are actually interested in who we talked to, how we got the answers we did, all the research we did, products we used, all of that, we will be doing a full write-up on our site. So I'm sorry, but we're not really going to talk about it in this video. First real question. How long have you two been together? That one's easy. 2 years. Next question.
What was a tipping point that led you to buy a sailboat? We didn't really have one aha moment. It was after graduation that we started thinking about future plans.
I always felt like I wanted to own a sailboat at some point in my life. I had no idea it was going to be this soon.
And I always wanted to travel all over the world.
So we kind of...
Poop, and then Uma happened.
Yeah. Was one of you more keen on the idea than the other? No.
I don't think
It kind of just evolved.
The good part about this is that it was really a decision we made together. Alright. Where did you get Uma? We found the boat on yachtworld.com, but she was located in Fairhaven, Massachusetts. So.
Which is right about this close to Boston.
Yeah.
Which was a long way from Atlanta.
Yeah, it was a long drive.
But it was fun.
Worth it.
Was the boat empty when you got it? No.
No.
The previous owner died unexpectedly at a young age, and so we inherited the boat with all of his stuff in it, which was a good thing and a bad thing. It came with everything we needed, and it also came with a lot of stuff that we didn't need.
Yeah, we had a lot of good books out of it and a chart plotter that's worth the same price as the boat, so that was good. That was a good deal. What boatyard are you in, and does the owner of the boatyard mind that you are living in the boat while working on it? We are in Riverside, Marina in Fort Pierce, and no, they do not mind at all. Actually, they don't even make you pay extra for living on board, so that's good.
Power's free and very limited. Water's free and it smells bad.
But it's free, and a little bit of bleach.
A little bleach.
It goes right out, so that's good.
But yeah, there's lots of people who live on their boats here. Next question. Why not buy a bike trailer? The same reason we didn't buy a couch. We like to do what we can with what we have, and a bike trailer might be great now, but very soon it would no longer be needed, so we don't really see the need to get one.
Nope.
Next. That's a good throw. It's like right there.
Right in the eyeball of the camera.
Yes, lens.
Okay. Did either of you have any sailing experience and boat repair experience prior to this adventure?
No.
No.
We were gonna buy a small little lake boat to learn how to sail, but instead we found this boat for less than the price we were gonna pay for the lake boat. We skipped the 5-year plan and went straight for the ocean boat.
Yeah.
As far as boat repair experience, no. The fiberglass floors were the first fiberglass work we'd ever done.
It was actually the first repair we've done.
Yeah, that was our first major repair.
So.
It probably helped that we'd both been contractors, but really I think it's just curiosity and observation and figuring out how things work and then figuring out how to put them back together.
And determination to get it done.
And then a lot of determination and patience.
Yeah.
But yeah, we learn as we go. We have a lot of sailing knowledge and we still don't have a ton of sailing experience, but that's why we have a boat. We're going to go out and practice and learn as much as we can before we take off to distant lands.
One step at a time.
One step at a time.
Next question.
Dan, how did you find the opportunity to help deliver a boat, and how was the experience? I actually replied to someone who put a message on a Facebook group who was very hastily looking for crew because his crew sort of abandoned ship. So that's how I found it. There's other websites out there specifically for crewing on sailboats, but it's just keeping your ear to the ground, asking around boatyards. There's lots of people looking for help. The experience was awesome. The captain was great. It was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. Couldn't have asked for a better first ocean experience. Next.
Was the boat surveyed before purchased? Yes. I guess we'll leave it at that.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Why are you installing a composting head? Very simple answer. Unicorns and butterflies are kind of gross to deal with and to handle. And when combined in a tank underneath your bed, sloshing around while you sleep, it's even more nasty. And then when you have to fix it, when it breaks, it's even more nasty. So we just wanted to eliminate all the headache and hassle and nastiness and keep it very simple.
Thanks for the visual on
Yeah.
that one.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Next.
Are you keeping the dorm fridge? Yes. We are
Yes.
definitely keeping the dorm fridge.
Cold beer is important. Although we might be ripping it apart and running it off of an inverter and converting it into an icebox, since most of the guts in it are exactly the same as what you'd find in a marine grade fridge. Just we already own it, and it'll be a fun experiment to see how it works. All right. I always pull them out upside down. I don't know. What will you replace the oven/range with? Yeah, a lot of you have asked since you saw us take our old gimbaled CNG stove out, what we'll be replacing it with. For now, we have a 2-burner propane kind of camp stove, which works fine. We cook all of our meals on it.
Hopefully we'll get a solar oven
Yeah.
relatively soon.
And once our battery bank is big enough, we'll be running induction cooktops,
Yeah.
since they are no open flame in the boat.
What led you to choose the copper powder versus standard coating? Well, copper powder lasts 10 years, supposedly. That's one of the reasons. Second reason is that the one we got was $250 for the whole kit, which was enough to have 3 coats of paint on our hull, versus $1,600 for the name brand copper coat.
And it also, unlike ablative paints, doesn't leach toxins into the environment constantly. It just prevents things from growing on the hull because it's an unattractive surface for them to grow on. But it doesn't leach poison out like other ablative paints. So it's actually much better for the environment because we only have to put it on every 10 years.
Next.
What epoxy did you use when you added the copper? It actually came as a kit. The dealer online sells it as a kit, 1.5 gallons of epoxy, 5 pounds of copper powder. So you just mix it together as you go. But it's a low viscosity epoxy, so it's very thin, so you can add a lot of powder to it before it gets too thick to roll on. And it's also can cure underwater and in moist environments. So if your hull is a little bit damp or if it rains right after, then it'll still cure.
And we'll put the link in the description below just so
Definitely.
you guys have an idea.
Next.
Next question.
It's a long one.
Do you think that painting both layers and then moving the stands and repainting both layers gives a satisfactory chemical bond, or would it create a weak spot or only allow for at best a mechanical bond?
So the barrier coat epoxy and the copper coat epoxy that we used both have a cure time of about 7 days to fully cure, but they're tack free in only a few hours. So when we did the barrier coat and then put the copper coat on top of it, then we moved the jack stands after a few hours. Actually, I think it was the next day we moved the jack stands, and it was the epoxy had dried to the touch, but it was still hadn't fully hardened yet. So the new layers of epoxy that we put on still had time to have a chemical bond with the old layer of epoxy. So no, it's not mechanical because of its extended cure time. Hope that makes sense. Are you still planning?
Oh, my foot! My foot is asleep.
Aw.
I have like little ants in there.
Are you still planning to power this sailboat with an electric motor and dispose of the diesel?
It's like stand up or something.
Yes. Yes. We are still planning to install an electric motor. Actually, we have installed the electric motor too. We just need to power it with batteries that we're buying this week. And then test it and then figure out how to charge it. But yeah, we're definitely still going electric. The diesel motors are gone. We never plan on putting one back in our boat. Next.
I hope you understood everything he said.
Yeah, we're good. Okay. You ready?
Was installing a forklift motor something you have heard of others doing? Well, we heard of others doing the conversion for cars.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody that we know of used a forklift motor for a sailboat. So we are the guinea pigs of that experiment.
But like any electric motor, including your alternator on your engine, they're no more prone to corrosion than anything else. You can spray them with corrosion paint and it'll protect them just like any other piece of metal on your boat.
Yeah.
What kind of battery bank will it be hooked to? And how do you plan to charge the batteries for your motor? I think this might be the question we get asked the most because electric motors have been around forever and they're very efficient and they're great and awesome. Batteries have been around forever. They're not very efficient, they're not very great, and they're not very awesome. But for now, we're going to be putting in a typical lead acid battery bank just because they're cheap, they're readily available, and it's going to be run at 48 volts. And a lot of you guys think that's crazy, but it's not very dangerous if you know what you're doing.
We're open for new options, and we'll see what works for our battery bank when we get there.
Yes. Probably a combination of wind, solar, and regeneration from the prop. We'll keep us going.
Generation for the pop. What would you do? Ooh, for a contact bar.
No.
What would you do if you have to motor for 10 days straight or get out of the doldrums?
Or the other one we've heard is outrun a storm. What would you do if you had to motor because a storm was coming?
First of all, the doldrums. You just bob around and wait for the wind to pick up.
If it's also sunny, we can, with a very small solar bank, we'll be able to motor relatively slow speeds, but almost indefinitely because it takes such a little amount of power to move a boat at 2 or 3 knots that even if we are stuck, we'll still be able to motor, which is something a lot of people can't do with diesel because they're trying to conserve it for when they get to where they're going.
Yeah. And the 10-day question?
Who motors
Come
for
on.
10 days?
If you have a sailboat, you don't want to motor for 10 days. At least we hope you'd never
We don't want to motor
have
for
to
10
motor
days.
for 10 days.
The noise, the vibration, the smell alone would make us crazy. And even if we had a diesel, we would still, in this boat, need over 200 gallons of diesel fuel to motor for 10 days, which is insane. Our boat only had a 20-gallon tank, which gives us about 24 hours maybe of motoring. Oh, and outrunning a storm. You don't use a motor to outrun a storm. We're in a sailboat. Storms go much faster than we do. You just get good storm sails and learn how to sail in heavy weather. Next. Are you concerned about the electric drivetrain getting damaged by salt water? No, because the electric motor is in every way the same as the alternator on your diesel engine, or the pumps on your freshwater pump, or the motors in your windlass, or your electric winches. It's the same electric motor. The components don't need to make contact, and so you can cover everything with corrosion resistant paint, and it will stay just as rust free as the diesel motor in your engine. So no, we're really not too worried about it. Our motor is actually going to be electrically isolated from the prop, so that just as sort of an added layer of protection. But no, it won't corrode any more or less than any other metal on your boat. Overheating isn't an issue. It's the motor controller itself that sometimes overheats, and you put that on a aluminum cooling plate. And watertight, we don't plan. If the boat's underwater enough for our motor to be underwater, then we have a lot more issues than if our motor works or not. How much is that going to set you back? This one is again related to the electric motor. A lot less than you might think. some electric motors on the market are in the $20,000 price range, while others are in like the golf cart motor size are in the $3,000 or $4,000 price range. And our conversion, excluding the battery bank, is going to be
around $500.
Yeah, it's going to be about $500. So we're saving a ton of money. We're getting a better quality motor, and it's going to be a little bit more of a simple system and more robust than a lot of the ones that are available on the market.
And at the end, it's still going to be less expensive than getting a diesel.
Oh, much less expensive. Try finding a diesel motor for $500. Next.
Are you planning to have a small generator?
No.
No.
You know, say a 2,000 watt, one of those little Honda generators, would only continuously motor us at about 2 or 3 knots, which isn't much. More like 2 knots. And it would still take all night to charge our battery bank back up. So between solar, wind, and proper generation, we're hoping to not need that. And if we were going to install a huge generator that would allow us to motor continuously, we may as well install a diesel motor again because it's the same thing. So we're not really having a hybrid system. We're really going on pure electric.
We don't really see our engine replacing a diesel engine. We're trying to replace scalding oars instead, if you're trying to picture it.
Yeah.
But we're still gonna keep our dinghy motor that we can strap in the back of our transom and still use it if needed.
As sort of an emergency backup.
Yeah.
6 horsepower will still be able to move our boat around a marina, around a slip if we need to. But yeah, we're not needing to motor all day. We have a sailboat.
Next.
What editing software do you use? Kika, take it away.
We use Final Cut Pro 10. And
She uses Final Cut Pro 10.
But if you want to know more about it and other cameras or audio equipment that we use, we're going to post a new answer on our website, probably at the same time as this video. So head over to our website or find a link in the description and you'll find out more about it. So next question. Could you publish a paper or video on tricks and skills that you have learned? Yes, we can do that.
That's actually a good idea.
Given all the time and material expenses, do you still feel that this massive DIY repair project has been more cost-effective than just buying a sound, ready-to-go boat? Yes.
Yes.
A boat in good condition, our boat in good condition, would cost about $30,000 to $50,000. Including buying the boat, shipping the boat, and all the repairs that we're doing, we won't be spending much more than $10,000 to $15,000.
Like 10.
About $10,000.
Yeah.
So
we're coming out
yes,
way less expensive than if we bought this boat in good condition.
Yeah.
And we get the added bonus of knowing her inside and out and knowing that we're capable of fixing anything on board because we've spent so long fixing everything on board. When do you plan on sailing, Uma?
When she's ready.
When she's ready. We don't do things on schedules. So when the boat's ready to sail, she's ready to sail. And we'll be ready to sail when she's ready to sail.
Yeah.
But it'll be soon.
Hopefully in a couple weeks, not in years. But
yeah, we're talking weeks, not years, but still.
No rush.
Next.
If you could untie the lines tomorrow, what would be your dream route and destination? Well,
anywhere but here.
Once we get out of here, if we were to get out of here tomorrow, we would probably first go to Cuba because we want to visit Cuba as it is now and not, when there's a McDonald's or Walmart in every corner. And after that, stay in the Caribbean for a while and
till we get comfortable. And then maybe we'll go this way, or maybe we'll go this way, or maybe we'll go over this way, maybe back down that way. We'll see. We don't have a plan. We don't have a schedule. They say that sailboats have destinations, not ETAs. So we'll kind of just go wherever the next destination is, and we'll figure out where that is when we get there.
Yeah. But we're moving a lot.
We are moving a lot. It's like we're in the middle of 40-knot windstorm that's been going on for 2 days, so our boat is moving a lot. Are you not scared that something could happen and destroy your dreams and leave you with nothing? Not really. We kind of started with nothing, and we're building this dream up as we go. So if it gets destroyed tomorrow, we'll just start again or start another dream, or we'll have our brains and we'll have each other and we'll figure it out. So not really.
Never give up. Never surrender.
No, never give up. Never surrender.
Next.
What are your plans for the future? Well, hopefully we will have sailing become our lifestyle. And who knows, maybe for 5, 10, 30 years, we'll keep doing what we want to do. Travel, explore the world, and find opportunities out there where we can use our skills and our knowledge to help for a greater good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
we'll keep going as long as it's fun and as long as we're enjoying it and as long as it's still our dream.
And hopefully you guys are going to stick around and share our adventure with us and follow us every step of the way. So, cheers! Did either of you have any Silix experience?
That's what you need to do. No, harder. No, it's not. It's relax. Relax. That was good.